Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos pinpoints your mornings on news. Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results in your neighborhood now at 5 a.m.
It's a frigid start across Central Florida as temperatures plunge into the 30s. We have team coverage on the chill and the new warning from firefighters.
Plus, breaking overnight, 2 large wildfires burning out of control in California. Flames forcing evacuees to even abandon their vehicles in the middle of the road.
And 2 local governments passing camping bans following a new state law, what the measures mean and why not everyone thinks they're a good idea. Good morning on your Wednesday. It's 5 a.m. I'm Crystal Moyer.
I'm Bridget Ellison. Trooper Steve's watching your roads. Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos here with your pinpoint accurate forecast. And that chill is really sinking in now.
It really is.
No
right
question.
Now, the thermometer is reading colder temperatures than we were yesterday, but we don't have as much wind to play with. So the feels like temperatures now are kind of, so it's almost basically an even. You won't know the difference, all right? I'm just going to be honest with you. At the end of the day, it's chilly, all right? Let's talk about the satellite and radar composite. Right now, we're seeing a big old plume of cloud cover that is just off the coast there in the Gulf of Mexico, and that will continue to make its way into Central Florida throughout the day. So a mix of sun and clouds will be back into the forecast. But because we don't have as much of a breeze today, we are seeing a little bit more of a concern for frost. So hopefully you heeded the warnings and covered the plans or brought them inside last night. You can see Flagler County, inland Volusia, all of Lake and Sumter County remain under that frost advisory until about 9 a.m. Now, temperatures out the door right now, we are below freezing currently. That's not what it feels like. Actual temperature of 30 degrees in Ocala, 39 in the Villages. We're at 35 in Palm Coast. A touch warmer the further south you go, but it is still downright chilly, down into the 40s area wide. Now, some areas are still dealing with a breeze in place, primarily in southern Brevard County, but the areas to the north where we're not seeing as strong of winds like yesterday is where we are seeing those frost advisories. Bus stop forecast as you're getting the kids to school. It's going to be that I can't put my arms down kind of morning, right? Patchy frost in the forecast, but staying cool. Not as chilly as yesterday. We'll have more details on the rest of the work week forecast and another cold front coming up in just a bit. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your pinpoint traffic.
I've got 3 layers going on, Candace.
You do?
Yes, I've got suit, that, and then a long sleeve undershirt. It's cold. This crash might slow you down just a little bit if you're not paying attention. They've pushed it all off to the side of the road. We're going to be westbound, State Road 528, just west of John Young Parkway. That's going to be John Young Parkway in the back there, right just east before Universal Boulevard. Right-hand side there, just take it nice and easy, and you should be able to just cruise right past that again. 528 out by Universal John Young Parkway. Earlier crash seemed to have gone away here at Orange Avenue and Sand Lake, just south there of Belle Isle, east of Sky Lake, nice and clear now, so no issues there this morning. I'm going to throw in the rest of 528 looking good, and so is downtown. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Trooper Steve. With cold air settled into Central Florida right now, probably cranked up the heat by now.
Yeah, but that's also coming with a new warning from firefighters who say there are some steps you need to take to help keep your family safe. News 6's Mark Lehman is following the story live. And Mark, it's space heaters that firefighters are especially concerned about.
Yeah, that's because heating equipment is a leading cause of house fires, and firefighters say that space heaters are responsible for about 46% of those fires, and that's something that can easily be prevented. Space heaters should be kept away from pets and children and unplugged when not being used. Firefighters also say you should never use your oven to heat your home, as that can easily spark a fire. Now, if you're using your HVAC system to heat your home for the first time, firefighters want you to keep in mind that there's often a dust smell that comes when using that heater for the first time. They say that's common and that you should really only call 911 if you see smoke or flames. For now, reporting live in Orange County, Mark Lehman, getting results, News 6.
All right, good points. Thanks, Mark. And the cold weather comes as local governments work to find ways to comply with a new state law banning homeless from sleeping out on public properties. Orange County and Kissimmee passed ordinances last night on this. And News 6's Angie Casada joins us live from Orange County this morning. This move coming with some controversy, Angie.
Hey, good morning, guys. That's right. This ordinances ban public camping overnight and allow people to file complaints on any violations. Well, local leaders insist that these arrests will be last resort, and they're also stating that critics are arguing the measures criminalize homelessness without addressing the bigger issue, which is lack of housing. Now back here, live, Orange County has allocated $65 million for homeless services, but many believe more funding is needed to keep folks off the streets. In Orlando, Angie Casada getting results, News 6.
Angie, thanks.
And new this morning, we now know the owner of a boat involved in this crash during a popular holiday parade in Merritt Island has been cited. According to Florida Fish and Wildlife, 25-year-old Cameron Michaels was cited for reckless operation of a vehicle. The crash happened December 7th along Sykes Creek during the city's annual holiday boat parade. 3 people were hurt and had to go to the hospital. Michaels has pleaded not guilty and is due back in court next month.
It's a moving scene right now in the nation's capital as the nation remembers former President Jimmy Carter. His body now lying in state at the Capitol Rotunda there. The honor just part of what has been nearly a week of remembrances honoring the nation's 39th president who died late last month at the age of 100. Carter's flag-draped casket arrived at the Capitol building yesterday and was greeted by Vice President Kamala Harris along with members of Congress. It came after Carter's remains left his presidential center in Atlanta after lying in repose for 2 days. Tomorrow, the former president will be honored at a state funeral at the National Cathedral in Washington. All 5 living presidents are expected to attend, with President Biden delivering the eulogy. We'll bring that to you live on News 6 as well as clickorlando.com and the News 6 YouTube channel.
Turning back to our weather story this morning, the big chill has growers and farmers in our northern counties on alert right now. If you didn't know, the Volusia County town of Pearson is known as the fern capital of the world. With Valentine's Day around the corner, growers spent yesterday making sure their crops are protected from the cold weather.
As the temperature drops, we'll first turn on the overhead sprinklers, and that's above the saran, and that will coat everything in water. And then as the temperature reaches freezing, that will freeze, and it'll create like an igloo effect.
The cold snap comes as the fernery is still recovering from Hurricane Milton, which cost them about 10 acres of plants.
Yeah, Candace, and my cilantro that I've been trying to grow, kind of wilting there, not doing so well.
Did you cover it?
No, I didn't, but it is inside. It's inside. I just don't have a green thumb. I don't know.
I don't think you should be blaming the weather, Crystal. It sounds like a user error.
Oh no!
But it's so good to see the ferneries are trying to get back on their feet after what was a very active summer, and they have all the precautions that they need. As we kind of look here, the wide view, I do want to show you we have another cold front that's going to be coming through later on this weekend. It's not going to be bringing as chilly temperatures, but it is going to be bringing us a decent chance for rain on Saturday. But I do want to show you, if you think this morning is cold, right now we're at 43 in Orlando. Right now it is 0 degrees in areas of Bismarck or so. That doesn't even factor in the winds that are also making it feel even colder. So right now out the door, we're at 30 degrees in Ocala. Not much of a breeze right now across our inland zones here in Marion, which is why the feels like temperature and the actual temperature are the same. But there are areas a little further south, right now in Orlando at 43, but we do have a breeze right now that actually is making it feel like the upper 30s. So certainly a chilly start again across Central Florida. And our highs both today and tomorrow will be staying in the upper 50s. So a few frosty mornings today and tomorrow. We do have frost advisories for some counties. But then as we head into Friday and Saturday, we're going to warm up slightly with a better chance for rain as we head into your Saturday. We'll have more details on that coming up in just a little bit. Back to you.
Okay, Candace. Thank you. It's 5:11. A new proposal expanding the state's pre-K program.
Coming up, the bill filed in Tallahassee that could double kids' classroom time for no additional charge.
But first, a story that shocked the community. A 13-year-old vanishes only to be found dead days later. Up next, a detailed look into how investigators solved the Madeline Soto case.
This portion of the news is sponsored by AutoNation.
We watch Channel 6 News every morning, and I'm like, okay, I got to give it a shot. They get results, absolutely get results.
It's a story News 6 has been following for months, the disappearance and murder of 13-year-old Madeline Soto.
Her boyfriend's mother, Stephen Stearns, was later arrested for the crime, and as he awaits trial, we're taking you inside the investigation. This morning, News 6's Mike DeForest shows us how police interrogated both Soto's mother and Stearns.
Wow, so much to that case, just awful there. Florida's voluntary pre-K program could expand under new legislation filed at the state capitol. Currently, VPK only covers 4 hours per day, but if parents want them to stay longer, they're going to have to pay for the second half of the day out of pocket. However, under a new proposed measure, VPK would be covered for 8 hours. The bill's sponsor says it's good for working parents.
Right now, if a parent has to leave work, pick up a child at 12 o'clock, whatever the half day point is, it's very disruptive to a parent's working routine.
The bill is expected to be considered during the legislative session, which begins in March. Well, it's the beginning of Girl Scout cookie season, but the end is near for 2 iconic flavors.
They rotate them in and out. So the organization's retiring s'mores and toast. Yay, there they are. And they say that they're not saying why they're discounting them. S'mores debuted in 2017, and the French toast-inspired Toast Jays rolled out in 2021. So if you're a fan, go ahead and stock up. They'll be discontinued next year. But I love the lemon-flavored ones, which are sort of on the newer side. So, maybe they'll come out with something in replacement.
I don't know.
The caramel ones? Don't.
That could be a currency.
Coconut?
That could be a currency. The caramel delights. That could be a currency at some locations.
Or Thin Mints.
Why are there people online looking for people selling, Girl Scout cookies?
It's your dealer. But I mean, it's your cookie dealer. I mean, they are.
Cookie dealer, yeah.
But you know what? They need to, sure. Fine, I guess that's more correct to say. But at the end of the day, I like the Thank-A-Lots to come back. There was just the little short, the Thank-A-Lot. They were like the shortbread with the chocolate.
But they still have shortbread, right?
But not with the chocolate.
Can you tell we like cookies?
All right, let's talk about your weather forecast.
Gotta talk to the right dealer, Candace. Talk to the right dealer.
Oh, don't worry. My kids' school, there's plenty.
I was about to say they're all over the place right now.
We're saturated. All right, let's look at those weather headlines. That's one, I love this time of the year. One, because it's Girl Scout cookie season, but 2, the weather's nice out there. All right, it's a little frosty though to start. Right now we are dealing with some frost advisories across Lake Sumter, inland Volusia, and all of Flagler County until 9 a.m. And then temperatures throughout the day once again will be staying back into those upper 50s. So maybe a degree or 2 warmer than yesterday, but we are expecting a little more sunshine also. But then by Friday and into Saturday, milder days. Not a big time warm up. Temperatures will still be running about 5 to 7 degrees below average in those 60s with a little more rain in the forecast on Saturdays. If you have some outdoor plans, it's not going to be the kind of weather you need to just cancel the day, but just do be aware you might have to dodge a little bit of rain into the afternoon. Then by early next week, it's not going to be as cold as what we're experiencing the last couple of days, but we are continuing to stay below norm. Temperatures out the door. Let's kind of zoom in, take you county by county. Right now, areas of Reddick at 32. The cold spot right now is Ocala at 30. 38 in Paisley. We were just out there talking about the Ferns there in Pearson. Right now we're at 35 degrees, 34 in Bellevue. Further south we go through Seminole County, Heathrow, Longwood, Geneva at 39 degrees. Across Lake County, numbers just updated, 38 in Leesburg, 44 degrees right now for you guys in Mount Verde. And then the further south you go into Osceola County, we have a couple more 40s and getting close to near 50 degrees right along the barrier islands for you guys there in Brevard County. 49 in Cocoa Beach, same through Melbourne Beach. So the moral of the story, it's another cold start. You can see we are all blanketed in that bright blue, where yesterday that blue was still trying to settle in across east central Florida. So as we take you here throughout the next few hours, we're going to continue to see a couple of in and out clouds, but for the most part, we are going to be looking mostly dry. All right, now let's check on that hour-by-hour forecast for today.
Your weather forecast is sponsored by Fairwinds.
So 59, that's going to be our high today. A little more sunshine. It will be another clear night tonight with temperatures dropping back down into those 30s and 40s. Now, again, we're going to gradually start thawing out of the 50s and into the 60s starting tomorrow as a big ridge of high pressure sets up just off the coast there over the Atlantic. But we are going to be watching another big time winter storm that will be developing rain, snow and sleet across a big portion of the south and into the mid-Atlantic states. By the way, if you have any travel plans Thursday, primarily Friday into Saturday, just do be aware this is going to be a mess, as they just saw a winter storm just a few days ago. But notice what happens on Saturday. We'll get that tail end of that front. So rain chances on Saturday do go up to about a 30 to 40%. As we get results here, your full 7-day forecast, temperatures still staying below that average of 72 until further notice, with temperatures overnight fluctuating to those 30s and 40s. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your pinpoint traffic.
2 texts from 2 different law enforcement officers, Chief. They want to know who your cookie dealer is and where they're currently located at. Westbound 528, watch out. We do have a crash on the right-hand side of the roadway here. Both the Florida Highway Patrol and Orange County Sheriff's Office assisting with this, making sure that traffic gets by safely. Once we clear this out, I'll let you know, but it is not slowing you down. So just make sure that you're paying attention out there, and then downtown, looking nice. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Trooper Steve. It's 5:22. A local preschool getting results through kindness.
At the bottom of the hour, how they're teaching little ones a big lesson in helping others.
But first, Tropicana could soon be feeling the squeeze. The major orange supplier that is ending operations in Florida.
No matter what's happening where you live, trust Sky 6 to get you the bigger picture. Exclusively sponsored by attorney Dan Newland.
Whoa, what is happening?
We're packing up our newscast and taking it on the road.
Oh, that's happening now?
Now, so let's go.
Every month, we're broadcasting live from a different community.
Because we want to speak with you, hear about the things that concern you most.
It's time you create the roadmap for our newscast. See what I did there?
WKMG hits the road live. Want us to come to your neighborhood?
Go to clickorlando.com/hitstheroad and tell us where to go next.
New this morning, a big change is coming to Florida's citrus industry, and it could impact the juice that you get from a well-known company. Alico, a supplier to Tropicana and one of the biggest orange growers in the country, says it's winding down its citrus division. The company cites decades-long declines in the state due to disease and hurricanes. The Fort Myers-based company says a third party will manage thousands of acres of citrus through 2026 in order to supply Tropicana for the time being.
Still to come on News 6 Mornings, 2 local governments take steps to comply with a new state law.
What both Orange County and Kissimmee are doing to avoid trouble when it comes to complaints involving the homeless.
And a warning from firefighters as temperatures plunge, what you should know when it comes to space heaters.
Cloudy windows? That's a sign of seal failure on your windows. Watch Getting Results at Home, sponsored by Renewal by Anderson, for more DIY tips.
Never miss a bite with the Florida Foodie newsletter. Sign up today at clickorlando.com/newsletters. Central Florida weather changes constantly. Don't have time to turn on the TV? Grab the Pinpoint Weather app from the App Store. The app is like having a News 6 meteorologist in your pocket. Open it up, boom, there's the radar. Boom, there's the forecast. It has the Futurecast right on it, the same modeling used in the News 6 studio. And if there's a warning, it comes automatically to your phone. Download the free News 6 Pinpoint Weather app now and have our weather team with you whenever you need us. Sponsored by Renewal by Anderson.
The father is... Background stealing the scene. The father is you, John. With Next Gen TV and Dolby, dialogue is crystal clear.
That's right, there are 2 N's.
We're not gonna make it! Volume catching you by surprise.
That's right, there are 2 N's.
We're not gonna make it! With Next Gen TV and Dolby, there are no more sound surprises. Make the sound decision and choose Next Gen TV.
We're waking up to some of the coldest air of the season with plunging temperatures overnight. The warning from firefighters now when it comes to heating your home.
Plus, 2 local governments sign off on new bans on camping in public. Why some say the rules are an unfair attack on the homeless.
Plus, an update on a mystery stench in Mount Dorwood. A new report now says likely is not the cause. And what's set to happen next? Good morning, Central Florida. I'm Bridget Ellison.
And I'm Crystal Moyer. Thanks for staying with us on this Wednesday. We want to start with a check of our pinpoint weather with Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos. She told you so. It's going to be cold.
Yeah,
here it is.
It certainly is. Right now that we are participating in this cold Arctic blast that the rest of the country is also still dealing with. Right now in areas of Nashville through Charlotte in the upper 20s, Little Rock in Arkansas there is only at 22 degrees. Now we are a touch warmer. We are still, though, downright chilly by Florida standards, of course, down into those low 40s. So Palm Coast right now we're at 36 degrees. We're at 43 in Orlando, 46 in Cocoa Beach. But right now in Marion County, we are seeing many of our locations dipping down below freezing. That's not the wind chill today. That's not the big factor. And because we don't have as much of a breeze in place, it's allowing for a little more frost to develop. For that reason, we do now have a frost advisory for areas of Flagler, Inland Volusia, all of Lake and Sumter County until 9 a.m. as frost formation will be possible. We are going to continue to stay under this big old plume of cold Arctic air for another day, but we are going to be watching for the arrival of another cold front that will be coming through this weekend. We'll have more details on what that means for for your forecast coming up in just a bit. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your pinpoint traffic, and he has 3 layers on right now.
Absolutely. Woke up this morning, I was like, nah, it's needed. Westbound 528 at Universal Boulevard, kind of just directly after John Young Parkway. It's closer to the ramp right here, westbound. Crash is pretty much cleared out. It is all on the right-hand side. All the first responders have left that area, so you are currently good to go. I think I misplaced something here. No, I didn't. Everything looking good. Maitland and 414 running smooth this morning on a ground level. No issues here. And then, of course, further east along Redbug, Aloma, things running smooth. Guys, back to you.
All right, Trooper Stephen, new this morning as Central Florida wakes up to cold. Firefighters are warning about dangers you should know about before you turn on the space heater. News 6's Mark Lehman joins us live. And Mark, what are some of the common mistakes that firefighters are pointing out for people this morning?
Well, there's a lot of them when it comes to space heaters. Firefighters say they're responsible for nearly half of all heating-related fires, and typically those are caused by people placing space heaters in the wrong area or plugging them in to a place where they shouldn't.
Mark, thank you. And this morning, commissioners in both Orange County and Kissimmee are moving ahead, enforcing the state's new ban on public camping and sleeping. The law meant to hold local governments accountable when it comes to helping the homeless, but it also comes with some controversy. News 6's Angie Casada is following the story live. And Angie, critics, they're calling for more help at the local level, providing some resources like housing for the homeless.
Absolutely. And these ordinances, though, include the chance of fines and even arrest for anyone that's caught sleeping or camping in public overnight. And what we know so far is that critics are saying that this is an unfair attack on the area's homeless population and that more needs to be done to solve the real problem.
Thanks, Angie. New this morning, a Palm Coast fire police member is in critical condition after being hit by a car on the job. The fire department says the worker was directing traffic after another crash yesterday at Seminole Woods and Sesame Boulevards when they were hit. The first responder lost consciousness and was airlifted to the hospital, and their name has not been released.
Leaders in Mount Dora have received a new report about the foul smell that some say has been plaguing their neighborhoods for years, but it doesn't have the answers many of them have been looking for. We've been telling you about this for months now, with many believing the bad smell was coming from the wastewater treatment plant. The city hired an outside company to run tests, but a draft report out this week says the plant is likely not the source. Homeowners say the findings are frustrating.
It's horrific. It's like just getting worse and worse. The other night I went out with my dog like around 9 o'clock. I about passed out, dude.
City leaders say they're now bringing in another consultant to try and finally get some answers, but don't have a timeline yet on when that could happen.
More than a year after she was removed from office by Governor DeSantis, Monique Worrell is once again the state attorney for Orange and Osceola County.
This moment represents more than a return. It represents a renewal. A renewal of trust, of commitment, and the promise that justice is not simply about punishment, but about prevention.
Worrell spoke yesterday before taking the oath of office. She defeated Andrew Bain in the November election after the governor appointed Bain to take her place in 2023. Meantime, Karen Castor-Dentel took over yesterday as Orange County Supervisor of Elections, vowing to try and get back millions of dollars given to local nonprofits by her predecessor, Glenn Gilzine.
The chairperson for the Volusia County School Board is stepping down from her leadership position, but will remain on the board. It comes after a video of Jesse Thompson, who represents District 3, surfaced of her making comments about feeding fake data to get agenda items approved. It also showed her questioning graduation rates. Members of the board voted unanimously last month to reconsider who would be the chair, and they're expected to make a decision at a meeting next week.
That Arctic blast moving across Central Florida, sending our favorite sea cows into the springs. It happens during the winter months when they head to local springs and power plant discharge areas for those warmer flows of water. And more than 600 spotted in just one day this week at Blue Springs State Park. So if you'd like to get out there and check them out, you do want to try to get out there early, because once they get to capacity, it's hard to get a space to get in there.
You'll be waiting in line for a little bit. But yeah, I mean,
did you swim with them? Didn't you tell me that?
I did, out in Crystal River during the summer. There wasn't as many because it wasn't as cold, but still just amazing animals. They're just, you don't realize how big they are until
and
you're
they have
in the
plenty
water.
of layers, right? But they still need to stay warm.
They cuddle when they're there, especially there in Blue Spring. All right now temperatures out the door. We're in the upper 30s. This is the reason why you're probably struggling to get out of bed as well. Last check, I still haven't turned on my heater. I don't know about anybody else, but I refuse to turn on my heater. So when my kids wake up this morning, it's going to be pretty chilly in the house. Temperatures right now, we're at feeling like 33 degrees in Daytona Beach. So throughout parts of Volusia County right now, in Port Orange, we're at 40. Deleon Springs at 37. We're at 30 right now in Ocala. Now temperatures below that freezing mark. We're dipping down into the 30s in areas through Mount Dora. Apopka at 39. Same through Longwood and Heathrow. 41 in Chuliota. We're all pretty much still in those 40s. No 50s yet to report. We will all get back into those 50s for today. Still a little more sunshine than yesterday. We'll have more details on your outlook coming up in just a bit. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your pinpoint traffic.
Like I showed you earlier, 528 moving nicely this morning. After that earlier crash that was out there westbound, just west of John Young, east of Universal on the right-hand side. So no issues there, no delays. Probably just waiting for that main portion of the truck to get removed. Outside of that, Turnpike nice and clear. 414 also out there at 1792, and then east of there, Redbug Lake Road. Today, going to be a great time hanging out over at Orange County Animal Services, our first dog feature of the year. So please join me today, 10 a.m. I'm sure we'll maybe get some zoomies because it's kind of cold outside. So we'll see what happens. Guys, back to you.
Okay, Trooper Steve. And it's never too early to teach kids lessons in kindness.
Still ahead, how one local daycare is proving even the smallest hands can make a big difference. First, though.
Where did the plane come from? How long were the individuals on the plane?
2 people found dead in the wheel well of a JetBlue plane. The warning from experts on why a disturbing trend hardly has a good outcome.
Trooper Steve on Patrol is sponsored by Gibson Truck World. We are the king of trucks.
Traffic doesn't happen in here. It happens out here and here. I'm traffic safety expert Trooper Steve. And yes, I am a real state trooper. I grew up here. I'm the only traffic expert who's actually investigated crashes, who's patrolled these roads. I know how that traffic is going to affect your morning commute. So if you want real advice from my real experience on your Central Florida roads, you got to start here and you got to watch before you go.
And this morning, we're waiting to find out the identities of 2 stowaways found dead on a JetBlue plane in South Florida. The flight arrived at Fort Lauderdale Monday night from New York. Investigators say the jet started its day in Kingston, Jamaica. The bodies were discovered in the landing gear compartment during a maintenance inspection. The area is not pressurized, and so anyone inside would be faced with extreme cold and oxygen deprivation.
People take it into their minds that they can get away with it, that they know a way to do it, and it will turn out poorly.
The latest FAA data says 80% of wheel well stowaways die during flight.
Happening today, leaders in Daytona Beach are set to spend nearly $1 million to make some big repairs along the coast. Commissioners are expected to sign off on a $902,000 contract to repair 14 beach access points along the city's boardwalk there. Those walkovers, which include both stairs and handicap accessible ramps, were damaged during Hurricane Nicole back in 2022. Just 4 temporary access points are now open. Money from FEMA will help cover some of the cost. At one local preschool, kindness isn't just taught, it's lived.
It's called the Learning Experience in Apopka, as News 6 anchor Ginger Gadsden shows us. Is an example how it's never too early to start teaching little ones lessons in kindness that can last a lifetime. Now that'll warm you up.
Yeah.
Oh, so sweet.
And those kids, I mean, if you ask them questions, they're going to be honest with you. So I just
sometimes
love that.
too honest.
Yeah, they make shows about it, right? Kids say the darndest things, but it's just so amazing. And it's proof, once again, kids are never too young to start learning the importance of kindness.
They're like sponges, so now they're going to teach, their other friends and family members.
Yeah, and it's kudos to the teachers too. That's a lot of work. All right, let's talk about your weather forecast out the door. By the way, if you got the kids heading to whether it's preschool or high school, make sure they're bundled up, right? They're still kids after all, right? Even in high school. Wednesday through Thursday, temperatures are going to be rebounding back into the 50s. Now, do be aware we still have some frosty conditions to contend with for another morning or two. Then into the afternoons come Friday and Saturday. We'll all start rebounding back into the 60s, upper 60s, still below average, with our next best shot for some rain coming this weekend, Saturday at about 40%. Right now, storm chances remain very minimal, but it is something that is out there. Looking at the satellite and radar composite, we are covered up in a lot of blue, just a little bit of cloud cover being picked up over the Gulf of Mexico. That will continue to stream in, and that's really going to kind of keep temperatures where they are at this point in time. They're still cold out there. Right now, we're at 30 degrees in Marion County and in areas in around Ocala, 38 in DeLand. We are continuing to drop off now in those mid-30s in Palm Coast, low 40s up and down the I-4 corridor. Now, some of our northwestern zones are not seeing as much of a breeze, which is why you guys have a frost advisory in effect. But areas further south, there is a potential of having just a little bit of a wind chill that's shaving off those temperatures by a few more degrees. Now, let's check on that hour-by-hour forecast for today.
Your forecast is sponsored by Publix.
All right, highs for today are going to try to get to near 60 degrees. I think a couple of our inland zones certainly will be able to. Temperatures further north, though, will be back into those upper 50s. Mind you, our average for this time of the year is 72 degrees. Now, we will have another round of frost and freeze potential in the forecast. The freeze chances will extend a little further, so later on today, I wouldn't be surprised if we do have another round of freeze warnings in effect, but frosty conditions will extend as far south as areas of Osceola County. Widening out the view, this is what we're talking about. Big ridge of high pressure kind of taking over for the next couple of days. As it continues to push out towards our east, it's going to bring in more milder temperatures in the forecast. But notice the mess, another winter storm moving through the Appalachians, throughout parts of Tennessee, into the Carolinas. If you have any travel plans, whether it's road, train, planes, whatever the case is, just do be aware Friday and Saturday are going to be pretty dicey. Now, that cold front, the tail end of it, is not bringing us big time winter changes, but certainly will be bringing a couple more scattered showers into the forecast late morning, early afternoon, potentially on Saturday. But once that front clears, we're going to continue to see temperatures running below average until further notice. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your pinpoint traffic.
Roadways doing pretty good this morning to the start of our Wednesday. Aloma Avenue, east and westbound, whether you're headed maybe west towards the city of Orlando or eastbound maybe towards unincorporated portions of Orange and Seminole County. Nice and clear. Oviedo, I'll throw you guys in there, 417 north and southbound. These mark any type of registered construction. Does not mean it's active, just means, hey, you got to watch out. So 417, nice and clear as of now if you're headed up towards Seminole County, but further south this morning, 528 west of the 417 area, nice and smooth whether you're headed towards Brevard or coming in from Orange. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Trooper Steve. A major orange supplier is calling it quits in Florida.
And ahead at 6, the brand that could face the brunt of it if the citrus business turns sour. First, though, breaking overnight, homes burn, thousands forced to flee after new wildfires break out west. The extreme winds helping fuel those flames as we check our big stories next.
Trooper Steve on Patrol is sponsored by Gibson Truck World. We are the king of trucks.
Talk to me about your current refrigerator.
Over 20 years old, cracks in it, broken drawers. New 6 really got results.
5:55, let's check our big stories. Parts of Central Florida are waking up to freezing temperatures. Once again, some spots won't hit 60 degrees today. We have team coverage of the cold snap straight ahead.
And breaking overnight, fast-moving fires in Los Angeles have burned homes and forced tens of thousands to evacuate. The flames are being fueled by some of the strongest Santa Ana winds the area has seen in over a decade.
Both Orange County and Kissimmee are moving forward with new rules banning people from camping in public. It's to comply with a new state law, but critics say it unfairly targets the homeless. Still ahead, expanding education for Florida's youngest students.
Yeah, coming up, what some lawmakers are now calling for when it comes to expanding BPK.
And new developments on a boat crash during a holiday parade that left several people hurt. What we have now learned about the citation given to one of the people involved.
The new 6 Plus app is available on your Apple TV, Roku, Fire TV, and Android TV streaming devices. Download today.
Every mom knows the rhythm of your day is set to kids' standard time. The activities. Mommy! The school car lines.
Thank you, Mommy.
The errands. Getting some work done and trying to do something to keep your sanity. But you don't have to juggle it all by yourself, because on News 6 Mornings, we're here to help you find a rhythm that works for you and everyone in your home.
Get into the rhythm of the mornings with Bridget Ellison on News 6 Mornings and see why we say,
you gotta watch before you go.
Mom!